Welcome to this week's editing toolbox video. This week I'm talking flags, stars and color labels in Lightroom and why they're so good to use for your workflow and to help you get a consistent editing process going. I'm Craig Turner-Bullock from Unleashed Education, and you've tuned in to this week's Editing Toolbox video. In these quick videos, Charlotte and I take turns each every Friday to share a quick tip, trick or technique in Lightroom or Photoshop that we hope will make your life a little bit easier when it comes to your editing practices. This week, we're going to take a look at this session that I did at the end of last year with this gorgeous dog, Barry. And I'm going to be showing you how to use flags, stars, and color labels to work into your workflow. I'll show you the way that I use them, and it's completely up to you if you adopt the way that I do it or if you find your own way of using flags, stars, and color labels. But I would highly recommend that you use a consistent practice in your editing workflow for this, because it's going to make life a lot easier for you. It's going to make things much easier to find in your catalogue when you need to. The way I do it, you'll be able to identify images that you think are portfolio worthy. You'll be able to look for pictures that clients have purchased from you really easily and quickly as well. Let's get stuck into it, I guess. So the first thing is, what are they and where are they in Lightroom? We're in the library module at the moment, and all of the filters are down at the bottom here. So you have your three flags here. So flagged, not flagged, and rejected. You also have your star ratings here and your color labels. You can toggle the filters on or off on the sidebar here as well. In the library module, you also have this toolbar, which will show you the current filters that you have applied to this specific image. And there's one more thing that we can do, and if you go up to the top and you go view, you can also show the filter bar. And that's going to bring this up here. So if we select flagged on here, all of the flagged images for this session are going to come up. If we also then add 3 stars, anything that is 3 stars or more is also going to appear. And then you've also got the option to display color labels here too, so we can look at picked images with a red label. So that's your 3 types, I guess. So you've got your flags, your stars, your colors. Now, if we are looking at a session and you're going through your images from your session, what I basically do is I pick and reject images as I go. If I'm not sure, then I won't flag them at all. So this is an image that I've picked from this session, and I don't know, let's look at one of the rejected ones. This is one I've rejected, probably something to do with the way that the dog was looking, and I didn't quite like the expression as much, and I've got a nicer kind of side view here as well. So this one's rejected. Now, if you are using the shortcuts to pick and reject, you want to press P to pick an image. X is your shortcut to reject it. Let's have a look at the stars now. You've got a shortcut on your keyboard for stars, which is the numbers 1 through to 5. So 1 is 1 star through to 5, which is 5 stars. If you want to remove the star ratings, you can press 0. For now, I'll put that back on 3 where it was. Finally, let's look at the color labels. So shortcuts for those are numbers 6 through to 9. So 6 is red, 7 is yellow, 8 is green, 9 is blue. If you press 9 again, it will remove the blue label. So if you have a red label, which is 6, and you press 6 again, it will remove the label for you. So that's color labels. There are more color labels as well, which you can access through setting the color label, right clicking on the image, and you've got purple there as well, or none. So how do I use all of these in my workflow? Well, let's take a look at the full session. If I press G on the keyboard, that will show you the whole session here. And we can put a few filters onto this. So the first thing that I do after I've downloaded the images and imported them is I pick and reject. So anything that I want to look at further, I will pick it. Anything that I don't want to really look at further, I'll reject it. If I'm not sure, I'll just leave it and I can come back to that later on. By doing so, we can sort this by picked images. These are all images that I have picked. Once I've gone through, if we look at these two as a good example, if we zoom in here to 100%, you can see that this one actually isn't quite in focus. So now I've had a closer look at this, actually, I'm not going to edit this. So I could probably just reject this. This one also I've missed focus on. This one is one that I finished and edited because I haven't missed focus. So I'm checking all of those things in closer detail after I've done my initial kind of picking and rejecting. Then anything that I edit for the client and present to them at their image premiere, I flag with 3 stars. So we can sort this by 3 stars now. And let's go back with G to the grid view. Then I use 4 stars to label anything that the client has purchased. And I use 5 stars as anything that I might be wanting to share or put in my portfolio, my personal favorite images from the session. That's how I use flags and stars. I don't use color labels a lot, but if you're familiar with my work, then you'll know that a lot of the time I make panoramic images for clients, and this is where I do use color labels. So anything that is part of a panoramic image, I'll just give a red color label. That helps me to identify the components for a panoramic shot, but they don't appear in my picked selection when I'm looking at them and fill up the session with images of just random bits of landscape. So I can eliminate them that way. So that's how I use the color labels. There's just one final little thing I want to show you with the filtering of this. So if we go to 3 stars, you'll see here that it's actually filtered 3, 4 and 5 star items in this selection. That is because down here with this little arrow and line is set to showing images that are greater than or equal to what I have selected. You can then change that to show you is less than 3 stars or equal to, or is 3 stars only, so is equal to 3 stars. So that's a really nice way just to see if you put 4 stars here, I can see those are the images that the client has purchased. Now it's likely that these 5-star images are images that the client has purchased as well, because usually, you know, they do overlap. So that's why I generally have is greater than or equal to. So if I show 4 stars here with greater than or equal to, it shows me 4 and 5-star images, and this is most likely the full set of what the client has ordered. There may be 1 or 2 of my personal favorites here as well that the client doesn't order. That happens from time to time. But I guess that's a whole different conversation for another day. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of the 3 options with flags, stars, color labels, and also an overview of how I use them. If you have a consistent way of using these filters, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you don't, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Like I said, it's really going to help you be able to find things later on and make your workflow much more consistent and thorough. That's it for this week's editing toolbox. Charlotte will be back next week with another one. And in the meantime, if you like what you see on our channel, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you again for my next editing toolbox video in a couple of weeks' time.